What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So first things first, before we go ahead and get started, thank God for another opportunity. And if it's your first time, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Now, if you want to join the Rich Gang family, all you need to go ahead and do is turn on post notifications. Let's go ahead and hit that like button. Let's get 50 likes on this video, and be sure to go ahead, sit back, relax, and drop a comment down below. Where are you tuning in from today? So as y'all can see, man, by the looks of the title and the screen, today I had to go ahead and put together 3 of the best Catfish builds on NBA 2K22 current gen. Now coming up, I gotta go ahead and bring y'all the pass first point with contact dunks. Now this first build is gonna be very rare as well as unique, and the pie chart that you want to go ahead and pick to actually make this build is going to be the one that's going to be split with the shooting as well as the finishing, but we're going to be able to get a little bit more extra shooting on this build. Now, once it comes down to the physical profile, this is all based off of my own preference, but I'm going to go with the one with an 82 speed, 81 acceleration, as well as an 83 vertical. Now, once we go ahead and get into the breakdown of each and every build, just be sure to follow along with the numbers when it comes down to the attributes as well as the height, weight, and wingspan. So, for the finishing, as you can see, we're going to be able to get 15 total badges, max out your driving layup, your driving dunk, as well as the post hook. Then when it comes down to the shooting, max out the mid-range and the three-pointer, go with the 61 free throw and an 87 post fade for 18 shooting badges. Now, once we go ahead and get into the playmaking, max out your pass accuracy and ball handle, we're going to be able to get a good amount of badges in each and every area of this build. And consider what this build will be looking like once you do add on the extra badge points that you have unlocked from each season if you have been grinding. Now, when it comes to this area of the build, you got to be very specific, especially when it comes down to the height. So the one that I'm going to go ahead and make this build out of is going to be 6'5", or if you want to, you can go ahead and change it up. Try to go with 6'6", 6'7", or even 6'4". Now, it really just comes down basing it off of your own preference as well as your play style. However, once we go ahead and get into the weight, this is going to be another factor of this build as well. You don't want to be too light, but also you don't want to be too heavy. So somewhere around the 180 range is going to be perfect. And as y'all can see, if you do go with an 86.0 wingspan, we'll be able to get an 81 driving dunk, which means once we do get that +4 at 99 overall, we'll be able to unlock all of the contact dunks that we want. And as you can see, the slashing, playmaking, shot creating, and the sharpshooting takeover, I'm going to leave it up to y'all. I'm going to go with the sharpshooting takeover, and as y'all can see at number 1, the Lamello ball pass first point build. Now, this is only the first Catfish build because yes, we do get contact dunks on this build, but you are able to do everything when it comes down to the offensive end, but also the defensive end. Now, let's go ahead and get into the second build. So coming up at number 2, I had to go ahead and throw y'all another banger of a build. And coming up right now, I'm going to be bringing y'all the two-way playmaker, but on this build, I'm going to go ahead and bring it to y'all with contact dunks. So if you did make it this far into the video, go ahead and let me know what did y'all just think about that pass first point build. But on top of all that, man, with this second build, we're gonna get more than halfway through the making of this video. So if you can, man, go ahead and be sure to subscribe if you're new. Hit that like button. Let's get 50 likes on this video. And last but not least, y'all, go ahead and share it with your family and friends. So with this 2-point playmaker, we're gonna make it out of the point guard position. Then once we go ahead and get into the breakdown of the actual pie chart, this should be based off of your own preference, but I really want to go ahead and just let y'all know right now. This should all be based off of what you feel more comfortable with, and to make the best version of this two-way playmaker, be sure to pick the one that's going to be split right down the middle with the playmaking as well as the defensive pie chart. Now, once it comes down to the physical profile, this should be based off of your preference as well, but I'm going to go with the fourth one because we do get a 91 speed, 90 acceleration with an 88 vertical. Now, once we do go ahead and get into the breakdown of the attributes, man, just be sure to follow along. And as you can see, for the finishing, I'm going to max out the first 3 categories, go with the 31 standing dunk, and we're going to be able to get 9 finishing badges. Once it comes down to the shooting, I'm going to max out the first 3 categories and then go with the post fade of 59. That's going to bring us up to a total of 9 badges right there. But if you do want to get less and make sure that you're able to spread the wealth just a little bit better, you will definitely be able to do just that, and also make your own version as well as your own adjustments to these builds. So once it comes down to the playmaking, go ahead and go with an 85 pass accuracy, max out that ball handle, and that's going to give us 20 playmaking badges. And then finally, for the defensive end, I'm going to max out the perimeter defense, lateral quickness, and our steal, go with the 50 block and then a 72 defensive rebound. And then from there, we're going to be able to also top off with another 20 badges out of the defensive area. So from here, this is pretty much what the build is going to be looking like. As for the body shape, this should be based off of what you like more. So for my liking, I'm going to go with the body shape of either burly or built. Then once we go ahead and take a look at the height, I'm going to go with 6'5", weight 176, and the wingspan, if you do max it out, we're going to be able to get that 81 driving dunk, which means at 99 overall, we will be able to get contact dunks. But if you do go with 6'6", 180, and then the same wingspan of 87.0, you have a few options of how you want to go about making this build. For my liking, I would definitely say the extra height is going to play a huge factor. So for my liking, like I said, I would go with the 6'6". Now, we do get the lockdown takeover, playmaking, slashing, and the shot creating, but I'm going to leave this option up to y'all. And as you can see, coming up at number 2, together we have created the 2-way playmaker build. And honestly, I'm liking the comparison of John Wall, especially with those contact dunks, going to make this build even better. But that means only because we have 2 builds down, we got one final one, and I'm telling you, I had to go ahead and make sure that all 3 of these builds were going to be ones that y'all would enjoy with playing as well as making. So let's go ahead and get into the 3rd build. The one and only most rare version of the playmaking shot creator, because with the version that I'm bringing y'all today, we're going to be able to play some really good defense with getting that lockdown defender takeover, as well as getting a good amount of defensive badges on this build. So I had to go ahead and throw this build on number 3 because this is really going to be one of the most versatile builds in all of 2K, especially on current gen. With this build, you're going to be able to do everything that the normal playmaking shot creator is able to do, but we're going to be able to have much more better defensive stats. So when it comes down to the breakdown of the pie chart, go with the one that's going to be split right down the middle between the shooting as well as the playmaking. Then from here, you really have 2 options to pick from. You can go with the first, physical profile, for more speed, or the 4th, so that way we're able to get a pretty good vertical. But again, that should all be based off of what you feel comfortable with. Now, once it comes down to the finishing end, I'm going to max up my driving layup as well as my driving dunk. Then from here, if you want to, you can upgrade anywhere else of your finishing. But for my liking, the only reason why I do not upgrade anything else when it comes down to the finishing is because I wanted to be able to make sure that this play shot was still going to be able to do everything when it comes down to making just your basic playmaking shot creator build, but with a twist, making sure that we still are able to maintain that lockdown takeover. So for the shooting, I'm going to max out my mid-range and the 3-pointer. For the playmaking, go with a pass accuracy of 88, 87 ball handle, and a 62 post control. We're going to get 17 shooting badges, 24 playmaking, and as y'all can see, I did max out the perimeter defense, lateral quickness, steal, block, and defensive rebound. Then I brought the offensive rebound up to a 46 with the interior to a 48, and we were able to maintain 10 defensive badges. Now, for the body shape, this should all be based off of what you feel comfortable with. But for my liking, I'm going to say burly or built is going to be the way to go. Now, when it comes down to the height, you actually do have a few different options to pick from. But when it comes down to the weight, make sure that you are going with the lowest, so that way we're still able to maintain the most possible speed. But including, really, it's going to help us out on the defensive end with that lockdown takeover. Now, if you wanted to, you can even make this build all the way to 6'2", but the thing is, you're going to really have to adjust that wingspan in order to unlock the lockdown takeover, which I already explained. So you have multiple heights that you can work with, but for my liking, I would go maybe 6'3", maybe 6'4", or possibly 6'5". So out of all these heights, you have the option to control how you want to make this build, and everything is pretty much still going to be pretty intact when it comes down to what we're able to do. So I'm going to leave that option up to y'all. But as you can see, with the takeovers, we're able to do a lot of special things, and I'm going to go with the lockdown defender. And as y'all can see, at number 3, we have created the playmaking shot creator build. And I'm telling you, thank y'all to those of you who made it to the end, and y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Turn on post notifications to join the Rich Gang family. Can we go ahead and get at least 50 likes in this video? And be sure to go ahead, share it with your family and friends, and drop a comment down below. Where did y'all tune in from today? I love y'all. I thank y'all. Thank y'all for finishing this video. Thank you, God, for another opportunity. And with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich